finance is essential and is important. It's a process of making it available, process of having it on time. Because when you need to do something and the capital is not ready at a particular time, then the definition of financing is definitely being compromised. Then financing is also, can also said to be a way to leverage the time value of money. Financing is also said to be a way to leverage the time value of money. What you need, you are planning to buy now, let's assume it's 1 million. The money is not available. And thinking by the time you would have said you're going to raise the money probably up to December. And with inflation and with what is happening, the dollar rate, probably by the time it would have been like ×2 or maybe even 50% increase, is how you want to make the money available now to get it. That's when by the way to leverage the time value of money. Most of us are probably will be into building, you understand better how much was cement last year, even since November, December, how much is cement now? Almost ×2. So to put future expected money flows to use for projects started today. Financing also takes advantage of the fact that some individuals in our economy will always have surplus money, because there are surplus money everywhere that they wish to put to work to generate returns instead of putting the money in the sockaway, in the latrine, or in the wardrobe. So there are some people that have surplus funds, or maybe are even fellow colleagues or friends in the diaspora, that they have this fund looking for what to do. So that these funds too, that they want to put the money to work. And also while others demand money to undertake investment, like you have a business, you also want to undertake, use the money to create finance. Now, we have types of financing. But for the purpose of this presentation, I'll just try to narrow it down to two, the equity financing and also debt financing. Remember, where we are still going to still how to use debt financing to grow the business. But let's just talk about the types of financing, the equity finance and also the debt financing. So in defining equity financing, it involves the selling of a portion of equity in the company. Just like the shares, you want to sell maybe 10%, 20%, depending, like bringing an investor with you. And also why the debt financing involves the borrowing of money, which is usually paid back. If you pay back the principal with the interest. And under debt financing, there are two forms of debt financing. There's the selling of bonds, and also there's the borrowing. But most of us, we are used to the borrowing, which can be borrowing from family and friends, from banks, and also other financial institutions. Now, for equity financing, what is the advantage of equity financing? Under equity financing, like we have explained, is sending the part of your shares to investors. There is no obligation to pay back the money acquired. You don't pay back the money. Your investors are not creditors. They are definitely part owners of the business. No monthly payments or deduction. So there is often more cash flow. You don't have to be paying monthly deductions trying to fund the money. So there are cash flow to run the business and also operating expenses. It has no additional financial burden on the company because you are not paying any back, any loan, no interest. Then disadvantages of equity financing. You have to give the investor a percentage of the company, probably in terms of shares or even the controls in running the organic company. Then profits made from the business must be shared. That's maybe at the end of the financial year, or we call profit sharing, depending on the agreement or the contribution. Anytime decisions concerning the business is to be made, you definitely have to consult your partner. You have to consult your investor, called like co-owner within the business. If the investors has more than 50% of your company, then you have a boss in which you have to answer to. So it means when going for equity financing, there is need for caution and caution. The money might entice, or if it's more than 50%, then you have a boss. So the only way to remove investors is to buy them out. If you are ready to fund back their money to them. Then debt financing, which says how to use debt financing to grow the business. Debt financing, the advantages. The lender has no control over your business. The person borrowing money has no control. The banks has no control over your business. Then 2, once the loan is fully paid, your contract with the financer ends. So once the money is fully paid, the contract, the agreement ends at that particular time. The interest paid on loans is tax deductible, and it is easy to forecast expenses because loans payments do not fluctuate. You know the amount to be paid every month, so it does not fluctuate. It helps in your planning. Now, disadvantages. Debt financing sometimes may come with restrictions on the company's activities that may prevent it from taking advantage of opportunities outside the realm of its core businesses. Like some of us, I know people been involved in securing loans. Different institutions, even different banks have different types of loans. Like some banks, it's the loan you are collecting is in buying stocks. So anything outside of stocks, you cannot practically, you just have to buy drugs, for example. You are not saying, probably you want to now invest in cosmetics or supermarkets. They will tell you no. Those are some of the restrictions. Or probably they won't tell you no, just send the quotations to us. They will be the one that will even pay the suppliers themselves. There are also some who might be that, okay, this loan is only for expand, you want to expand your business. So when you want to use the money for another thing outside of what was communicated or agreed, they won't allow. So this part of this is I'm trying to say comes with restrictions on the company's activities. So when you see an opportunity staring at you, you might not be able to quickly tap into that. Then, so secondly, debt is a bet on the future ability of a business to pay the loan. So when there is issues with cash flow, such business will be struggling to pay back, and of course also there will also be penalty because you say you have monthly expenses running. So when cash flow is limited or is hindered, it affects the payment. Then large debt burden can lead to default and credit risk, which is still linked to the credit cash flow that was mentioned. Then you have to pay back the principal borrowed along with the interest. And these days we don't have favorable interest, also depending on the institutions we are also applying the loan from. Yeah, I think we should just briefly talk on the procedures for loan application. Procedure for loan application is that you visit the branch of your potential financier. But of course, if you know you are big, your business is big, they'll definitely come looking for you. Going about looking for people these days. So not you now going, so the reverse is the case. They are the one that is now looking for you now. Of course, they're also looking for you. The terms and conditions also still applies. You have to find out how much you can borrow. Select the right loan program like yourself. There is one for the 6 months, there's the one for the year, there's one for 2 years, depending. So select the right loan program, obtain the loan application form, and enter all required details. Submit all relevant documents.
Yeah, please continue.
Submit all relevant documents as required and complete all other requirements. Application will then be processed, but submitted documents will be verified and eligibility of the applicant will be determined. So do not submit falsified documents. So here we need to keep our records. So we don't have records, then some applications at times take a month, while some takes 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, going backward and forward like that. So we need to take caution on that. Now, factors to consider before taking a business loan. There are a lot of factors to be considered before taking a business loan, and this is why we are also going to dwell more on. The types of business is important. You have to consider that. A strong business plan is also considered. Objective and purpose of the loan. The business revenue, the business cash flow is important. Credit history. Research your borrowing options, seek expert advice, then other considerations. So we'll be explaining this one by one. So we'll start from types of business, talking about the factors to consider before taking a loan. The types of business is important. because your business structure can influence the decision of a financier and can also have a drastic effect on your firm's personal finances. Here is the structure of the business. If the organogram is so cumbersome, all those will be. If you have several directors on the board, all this will definitely be considered. So the structure of the business is important, whether your business is solely owned or in partnership or limited liability company. All this can influence the decision of your lender to give you the loan. So the business structure is important. So the better flexibility, the structure, the better viability you are assessing the loan. For example, if you have like 3 directors, for example, probably they are going to do credit search and one of them is definitely owned, it might definitely also affect. Or we have some from payment plans issues from the previous activities, it might also affect. Then types of businesses to also affect. Before the advent of COVID, they were interested in definitely giving loans to textile companies, to manufacturing, believing that for supermarkets and drugs, probably because of the expiries they were unwilling. But during the advent of COVID, everything definitely also changed. So the business activities is also being considered by your lender in deciding to give loan. A strong business plan. I use the word strong business plan. So not just a business plan, but a strong business plan also considered before loan is being given. A financial plan for your business is an overview of your business financial situation. So it's a financial plan that your lender will be looking at, not what you see. That's why record keeping is very, very important. Auditing your accounts is very, very important. Like a very good example is just probably your business is doing 9 million, 10 million every month, and you're only banking 3M or 4M. Your business will be considered to be doing 3M, 4M every month. So it is the record you keep, what you're banking, that is what will be considered, not what you tell them. So a good business plan is important in obtaining funding and is even more important in funds obtained, because it also helps you to know, do you even really need this fund or how much fund is needed? So to get fund is one thing. To know how much fund is needed for that particular project is also another thing. So the bottom line goal of any business plan is to demonstrate the prospects for profit. Because in your plan, you show, okay, this is the business you want to do, how profitable it is, then how will you also be able to recover money. So, which is very, very, very important. So you need to prepare a detailed project report of your business along with all the side documents to support it. So, which is very important. So your business plan cannot be overemphasized. It is very, very important. Next one is objective and purpose of the loan. Why do you want to go for the loan? What is the objective? So the foundation of a successful utilization of a loan facility is a clear set of goals and objectives that will guide the business design and implementation. So the objective should clearly communicate what the loan facility is for and the strategies by which it is to be properly utilized. Imagine you are bringing money for expansion, for example. You have a clear cut. And if along the line you now feel you need to increase your products, you need to increase the availability of products. So the question is, are you securing the loan for expansion? Or probably you want to have another outlet? Or is it to expand your present location? So you need to have a clear cut on what to do. So these are the likely questions that we need to ask ourselves when having the objective and the purpose of the loan. Now, what is my reason for this loan? You need to clarify your loan needs. Which of my business problems am I solving with this? You might be having issues of maybe availability of stock, or you might also be having issues of maybe trying to expand another unit of the business. So which one do you require funding for? Probably you want to expand the cosmetics arm of your business. and you also need funding for the pharmaceutical drugs products as well. So which area do you now need the loan for? Do you rather want to secure the loan for the cosmetics and allow RX to handle the pharmaceutical harm? You need to know. So which of mine is the loan for the purpose of a fixed or current assets? Is that you want to buy a bigger generator, or you want to pay for a bigger location, or current assets, the products? What is the depreciation factor if it's a fixed asset? Those are the questions. How does solving this problem improve my outcome? If you get these funds and you use to solve the problem, how does it improve your outcome? How does it improve the customer experience? Because at the end of the day, it is profitability. You want to increase the revenue. How will this funding improve customer experience? How does it translate to more sales? Then how necessary is this? Is it needed for now, or needed for next year, or needed for the mid of the year? How sustainable is this? You go for the loan, you'll be able to pay. What are the pros and cons of using this loan for this particular risk? There is this book by Ben Carson, Benefit and Risk Ratio. What is the benefit if you go for it? And what's also the risk if you don't go for it? What measures am I putting in place to provide an effective framework that will measure and monitor risk? Now, revenues is important. If your business is doing maybe let's say 10 million every month, and now you want to say your business is doing 3 million every month, and you now want to go for 10 million, and probably you'll be have to pay back in 6 months or a year, you need to consider. So your revenue is important. You must be backed up with detailed financial records of your business. Of course, you also want to see your revenue, the financial records, then which will impact the level of loan you'll be eligible to. So they look at your revenue to deal for your lender to decide the amount that they want to give to you. So your revenue is important, which will determine the amount the bank will give to you, and your revenue must also be recorded. That is, they will ask for your bank statement, not what you claim your sales is. Business cash flow. Cash flow is important. So without cash flow, number one, it will be difficult for the lender to borrow you. Without cash flow, your business will be struggling. Without cash flow, it will be difficult for the business to be able to pay back. And what is cash flow? Cash flow is what is generated when your business sells goods or services to cover collection of payments from customers. Cash flow is vital to the operation of your business, but no business survives outside of cash flow. And this can negatively affect your business credit rating and will impact your ability to get loans in the future. Most of us that have done that, you would have seen that the banks typically look at the cash flow, the business cash flow before they give loan. So before applying for a loan, make sure the magnitude of the loan is something your business can comfortably pay back. When your business cannot pay, you're not be able to pay back, you don't have to. Example now, if someone wants to open a second outlet, trying to borrow, get funding, you must be well assured that your present location can pay for the loan, because it's a new business, a new outlet that you are just starting. So you will not really still know how the sales will be, and also you still need to still invest, put a lot of things into place. But is your present location business, can it afford to pay? That's still part of cash flow. They never apply for an amount that is more than what you need. So borrowed money comes with interest expenses. So you have to be very realistic. You don't apply for 50 million naira loan when your business can afford to only pay a 10 million naira loan. So don't push your luck. Oh, I'm pushing my luck. At the end of the day, the luck might end up coming back. It's things you had behind. Credit history. The financial institutions will always go through this, the credit history. You want to know how creditworthy you are. That is what we call search. In fact, you also still pay for it yourself. Of course, with the advent of this BVN, we used to trace whether the business is owing your own personal, whether candidate you are owing, and all the directors' names on the CAC. They also definitely credit search will be done. So this is important. That's why we need to be creditworthy. body to be able to, or probably we are staying away, we just need to tidy up our things, preparing ourselves for the opportunities ahead. So we need to research the borrowing options. We need to research the borrowing options because there are different institutions, there are different means. We said you can borrow through family and friends, you can borrow through banks, other institutions. Also, some of us are also into cooperatives as well, which you can also borrow. But it is important that you check out a variety of options before deciding, looking at the interest rate, because we pay the principal amount, interest rate, and also all other operational costs. At times we call it hidden charges. There are some charges that cards will not tell you until after everything. You now start just seeing deduction like deduction. So we need to know. Like say First Bank is doing one presently now. It's 6 months. So if it's 6 months, will you be able to? For the deductions is done daily. Theirs is daily deductions. So you want to weigh that one. Do I want to go for the one that is daily deductions? Do you want to go for the one that is monthly? I know there is monthly for some banks, monthly for a monthly, but first there is for 6 months, and other institutions a year, some 2 years. It also comes with their own various interest. Of course, the one for 2 years, the interest will be more. The one for a year, lesser. For the one for a daily, the interest is more marginal, like 10% at times lesser, depend on the amount of money you have in your account. So you need to weigh all these options to know the one you want to go for. Also, you also want to consider the speed and convenience of application and the funding. There are some might take 6 months, some will take a month. Imagine you need what you want to do within 2 months, and they are now paying you, releasing funds in 6 months. So you need to watch all those to make sure that the one that suits you. The ease of repayment, the flexibility which I've mentioned, you need to know. So all those ones are important. So that's why you research your borrowing options, which one best suits you. Also, at what particular time do you think you should? Is it when you are struggling with cash flow, you want to go for it? Or is it when the business you are doing probably is being affected with COVID, or COVID is even propelling your business to the next level? So you need to weigh all those options. Then it's good to seek expert advice. Expert advice cannot just be an investment banker. It might be your friends, it might be your colleagues, it might be someone that have even done it before. So your colleagues are there, seek advice from them, even from our associations to the PSN, the ACPN. They've also been instrumental in most of the funding. Have people to talk to, or probably your friends that works in the bank. So seek advice, which will definitely help you to weigh all your options. At the end of the day, you are taking a better option. I guess we've come to the end of the presentation, but I also now decide to just post a case study so that it will not just be a monologue only me talking. But like we said, how to use debt funding to grow your business. Yeah. Of course, some of us believe in this, that probably we don't have to borrow money, the business is doing well, God is there. So I decided to now post this case study. Mr. A is the owner of company XYZ, which is a retail outlet. Mr. A did not take a loan to start his business, which is wonderful. He used his personal funds. So when he started his business, then also 6-7 months, his average daily sales was around 75,000. Oh, wonderful. Although he had the potential of doing above 150% daily sales. So he was not meeting the demand of his customers due to his inability to fully stock up as a result of financial limitation. So his sales could not improve significantly. And imagine so during this COVID, when most pharmacists are smiling, so it could not improve significantly anymore because its buying capacity had reached the maximum. So based on the above information, Mr. A needs more funds to buy products to meet demands. So he can decide to keep doing his 75,000 daily sales, or he can decide to take a loan to improve is capacity. Should I explain this? Yeah. Okay, now so yes. Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. So like I said, what is the pros? Go back to one slide. So the pros of taking the loans, if you decide to take the loan, because with what I've said, a new business doing well, 75,000 daily, has potential for 150, but has limitation in getting struck. But I want to bring in probably Mr. E does not know RRX, because probably he knows RRX would have improved his business, probably would have taken his business to 100, 120, if not 150. But however, the pros of taking the loans, he decided to improve his financial capacity to buy more supplies. Then, well, you know, the more products you stock, the more sales increase, or the more increase it has in sales. Then it will get to keep his existing customers, attract potential customers, and also increase his customer base. Because when the premise is well stocked, existing customers will stay. So that's customer retention. Attract potential customers. Oh, if you go to that place, you will get what you are looking for. Definitely increase his overall customer base. It will definitely increase the sales, and when sales increases, profit also increases, and also increase the there will also be overall business growth. Before you know it, you might want to also expand or even have a second outlet. Those are the pros if loan is taken. Now, what is the disadvantage? That's the cons of not taking loan. I said, you can say it's still doing well, 75,000, but there is also limitations. If it does not take loans, it has the inability to meet customer needs. And if it's not meeting its customer needs, there will be loss of customers. The business cannot always, sales can always be the same. There is no static in life. There is no vacuum in life. It's either it grows or it declines. So definitely, its sales will decline. Even a competitor might even open beside to fill the gap, to fill the needs. And at the end of the day, there will be loss of revenue. And when there is loss of revenue, it might end up struggling, even paying expenses and bills. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Pharm. It's been a very, very enlightening 30 minutes or thereabouts. And thank you for the opportunity you've given us, to make this presentation. And I'm sure that our colleagues in the industry, our daddies in the industry, and our friends, they've gained one or two things from your presentation. So, in fact, even if I didn't listen to the whole presentation from the start, the case study alone is very, very insightful, and I'm able to learn one or two things from the case study. For instance, it summarizes the advantages of debt funding. The customer or the pharmacist in question had enough funds to start the business. He was able to establish the premises and to stock initially. And he was able to grow the business up to a particular limit, which eventually was his maximum for the capital he put into the business. In this case, it was just 75,000 naira. So doing 75,000 naira worth of sales for a pharmacy premises that just opened, let's say, 6 months is impressive. It's impressive. But after 6 months, if you are still stagnant, you're still doing 75,000 naira worth of sales daily, not considering all the forces, just like you said, it's just like a vacuum. Any day or anytime the sales can drop significantly, and trends or economic conditions that we don't even know of can just happen or occur. So it's very, very pertinent that we consider debt funding, especially when it comes to pharmaceuticals. And because of the nature of the industry, no patient is going to wait for a pharmacist to want to stock his premises. Okay, this is my customer. Do you have this drug? No, I don't have it. Can you come next week? The health of the patient is not going to wait. So there's a constant demand for pharmaceutical products. And even before pricing, availability is more of an option. People go to where they can get the products before they start asking, how much are you selling the product? So before we go on to the next presentation, which is actually going to be a short presentation about RxAll, we'd like for you to drop your questions in the chat section of the webinar page, So drop your questions for us so that as we go on, we'll compile these questions and we can ask our presenter so that he can provide answers to these questions. So without wasting much of our time, we'd just like to make another presentation, quite short presentation about RxAll, for us to be able to synergize what the presenter has, explained to us and how RxAll bridges the gap between funding and our pharmaceutical industry. So once again, my name is Seyi. I'm territory manager for RxAll. Next slide. Access to affordable, safe drugs for everyone. That's one of the key working points of the company. We create access to affordable drugs for everyone. Everyone in the sense that no matter where you are in the country, whether you're in the suburb, you are in the rural area, or even the urban centers, whatever part of the country you are in, you have the right to access quality and affordable drugs for whatever need you might require it for. So a few things about RxAll. RxAll is a trusted marketplace for affordable quality medicine. Our goal is to increase access to safe, affordable drugs in Nigeria, in West Africa, and the world at large. And to achieve that, RxAll has a sister company branch called RxAll, and we have a platform that you can reach us on at www.rxalldeliver.com. And this platform was set up as an online platform for hospitals and pharmacies to order quality drugs from network of pharma suppliers. This network could either be mega distributors, wholesalers, or even pharmaceutical companies themselves. So through our RxPay feature, we enable transactions on our platform by brokering supply chain financing from third-party lenders. And this is a page view of our RxDelivered website, where you can have access to affordable drugs at the convenience of your home or your offices. So if we look at the pharmaceutical industry at large, medical practitioners, both doctors and pharmacists, face basically the same problems, the same headaches. We all have the same challenges when it comes to the pharmaceutical industry. One is time. Two is financing. Three, inventory management. Then also procurement issues. Then low profits. Of all of these factors, RxAll has a solution for you. But of more interest today is the financing, which pharmacist Olanrewaju has talked about. So we'll focus a little bit more on the financing. So for the financing part of it, some pharmacists have low capital, just like the example, the case study that was presented to us not quite long ago. Having low working capital is as good as not growing your business at all. It's as good as not even having startup funds. Because when you reach your maximum, the business will start declining. So which means financing is a very integral part of the pharmaceutical business, even the economy at large. There are so many things we can't do without finance. So we have to also consider how we can integrate our businesses to fit into debt funding. Next slide. So going to the main topic, credit financing, access to quality medicine. In fact, it's also worth knowing that when people don't have enough funds to finance their businesses, it pushes them to practicing. It pushes them away from the standard practice of obtaining medicine. Then people tend to try to cut costs in procurement. They tend to look for cheaper alternatives, which on the long run might not be the best alternative for the patients. Because we need to remember that although we are sometimes in the business to make money, but the health of the patient will always come first, and that's why we are professionals. So credit financing gives you access to quality medicine that's affordable for yourself and for your patients. So at RxAll, to access credit financing, there are some requirements, basic requirements that are expected of you, and also the benefits you get from it. I will just summarize. So it's accessible to all pharmacy owners and hospital owners. So if you have a pharmacy or you run a hospital, you have access to credit financing from RxAll. And also, you can access as low as 1.5% in service charge on invoice amount from RxAll. And also, while presenting, the pharmacist told us about having too long repayment plan. Because the longer your repayment plan, the more burden you're putting on yourself and on your business. So, and also the higher the interest rate. So having a tenure of 20 days a month over the capital that's given to you, that you got for your business, is actually ideal. And also, he talked about having needs for funding. Yes, you might have a business, you might need funding for the pharmaceutical section, you might need funding for your cosmetics and for other sections of your business. So you need to understand that what funding am I looking for from RxAll? And also at RxAll, we also try to make sure that we don't just give money. Okay, if a pharmacy needs funding, what we do is we fund the products. That is the part of the business we are most interested in. So we fund the medicines that you procure from pharma companies and other sources. So also we have documentation process, which is going to be broken down later. Next. Yes. Then for benefits, you are going to get affordable pricing by seeking financing from RxAll. We don't charge franchise fee, and we don't charge any subscription fee. So, and you also have full autonomy of your business. Nobody's coming into your office to tell you how to run your business. Nobody's coming to keep watch on what you are doing on how you are going about it. You are the owner of your business and you are the one running your business. And if you remember also, this makes it different from equity financing, whereby someone is coming in to check in on your business, someone is coming in to share your profit with you. All of those are not applicable to RxAll. So at RxAll, we offer affordable pricing, zero franchise or subscription fee. You have full autonomy of your business. Also, we are going to give you a software to run your business for you. So our platform, RxAll Delivered, is a very intelligent platform that has the ability to manage your business for you, from procurement issues to pricing to stock issues to expiring products. The platform is able to manage everything for you. So you don't have to start checking through your products. So, oh, this drug expired last month, it's a loss to my business and all that. This platform takes care of everything for you. Also, the issue of product performance. You can have various SKUs in your shop, and probably at the end of the month you want to go and stock, you still go and stock the old SKUs. This platform will tell you this product is doing well in your territory or in your area. Stock more of it. It gives you product performance, it breaks it down for you basically. So it's doing majorly the work you're supposed to employ someone else to do for you. So by just clicking the button on the system, it's breaking down your business for you, the profit you are making, the profit forecast, and the needs of the business. So which is a very good tool, and it's coming to you free of charge from the stable of RxAll. Then also you have access to varieties of SKUs. You know, some patients will come and they start specifying for some drugs. You know, they want a particular brand of product, and you know, sometimes most people don't have so much funds to stock all the available brands that people can ask for. So buying or financing from RxAll gives you access to a variety of SKUs, whereby you have enough SKUs per products that you need. And also you have access to various sellers, that are seller partners of your choosing. Yes, for people have different distributors, wholesalers they buy from. So getting financing from RxAll doesn't change that. We can offer you better financing, we can offer you better options and better locations of better pharmaceutical companies or better distributors to get your products from. Also, you can rely on the distributors you want for your financing. So it makes it very, very easy and very, very affordable. And also, you can access up to 10 million in financing from RxAll. So that is a very, very good advantage. And also, we offer seamless delivery system. Next slide. So you can stay at the comfort of your office, and you can make your procurement and it will be delivered to you. So for our RX delivered products, this is how it works. You can register on RX Delivered website. That's www.rxalldelivered.com. And what do you want for your hospital or your pharmacist, your email address, your phone number, and the physical address of the location. Once you've registered, we will always contact you immediately or within 24 hours. Then also there on the platform, you can place your orders. You can scroll through the platform to see different prices and different SKUs of your choosing. Then also after picking what you want, you can check out right there. So at checkout, you can either pay with your ATM card, you can pay with a bank transfer, doing bank transfers, or you can have access to our credit financing, which is the wallet option on our website. And also there's delivery option, like I mentioned earlier. Yes. So for these products, our targets are pharmacies, hospitals with in-house pharmacy, chemists, and anyone in the profession that requires financing to meet up their needs for pharmaceutical needs. Yes. Also, before we round up, we have the RxPay. RxPay is also coined out. It's also a credit financing scheme coined out from RxAll stable. For the RxPay, it's more discount on the product you are buying, and also more leverage, and also more financing. So everything is more. You have access to more products, you have access to more financing, and you have access to cheaper prices. Just like RX Delivered, same process you go through. You sign up on the same platform, then we contact you within 24 hours. They will tell you the list of the documents required. Just like you said, there are some requirements that are necessary to run a good business and to seek good loans from financiers. Cash flow is one of them. Also, the state of your account is very important. You mentioned, for a business that's spending over 9 million in a month and passing 3 million through the bank, it's not giving a good reflection of the health of the business or the strength of the business. And so when a financer is assessing the such pharmacies for credit options, they limit their capacity. And limiting your capacity means you're not taking up the required amount. Having below funding is also as dangerous as having no funding at all, because if you don't have enough money or enough funds or enough resources to meet the demands of your business, the business will gradually dwindle down. So which is very important. So out of the requirements we are offering, licenses, they are actually categorized into three different sections. We have the licenses, we have the documents we give you to sign, like agreements, we have the credit financing agreements, we have buyer's agreements, and we also have the KYC, which every financing organization is always asking for. So also we finance the order we get from other products. Next, please. So for our documentation requirements, whether you are requesting for our RX Delivered products or our RxPay products, the documentation we have is in three categories. Definitely, we have some documents we provide for you. Like I mentioned earlier, the credit financing documentation, which is an agreement between us, and you're just an agreement and the terms and conditions of giving the facility to you. Then we have the buyer's agreement, and we also have the KYC form. So all these agreements are just for you to understand how the loan works, and so that it won't affect your business when it comes to it. So you can effectively plan ahead the business. Also, the documents you provide for us. Under this, we have means of identification, we have the CAC documentation, we have the licenses like the premises license and pharmacist license for pharmacies, and the NMA documentations for hospitals and other medical bodies. Then also we have securities. For every company giving out a loan, there must always be a backing that the company can follow into. So it doesn't make business sense for us to lend out money and not, back it up with securities. When banks give money, they ask for collateral. Some banks will have it to go. What they take sometimes is always ridiculous, and sometimes we understand. But from RxAll, we make it so simple or so seamless, and we make it. We give you options. So for securities, we have checks that you can give us, undated checks, that is, and we also have what we call a direct debiting. So direct debiting affords you to just plan your repayments, and once you've planned your repayments, you know that okay, my repayment falls this week, let me just make funds available in my account. I don't have to start going from one bank to another to gather the money together and bring cash to pay RxAll. So we make it so affordable and so easy for you. So all you need to do is stay at the comfort of your office, make your funds available in your account, and at due date and due time, the money will be moved from your account to the sourcing account. That's RxAll's account. So that's another method of repayment that we have, a method of security that we have. So it's guaranteeing us that the money we are giving you is going to repay back. We have the peace of mind that okay, those who are lending money to or those who are offering financing to are also going to benefit from it, and they will pay back without issues. So, and that is the end of this presentation from my side. So, like I said earlier on, we welcome your questions, welcome contributions, and welcome anything at all from your end. So, but to start the questions, I would like to ask a question of my own. So, when you Pharm, when you talked about the interest, you mentioned interest and how the longer they take the loan, the longer the interest. Can you please shed more light on? Because I'm well aware that people, if you ask someone to take a loan and you give them option of pay back 2 years time, they'll be like 2 years is a long time, Some people, they see it as more time to make money and to push back the loan to at least cover for the interest. While some people will go for the short term loan, whereby they say okay, pay back in 2 years. Someone will say no. Do you have 6 month option? Do you have 1 year option? So what difference does it make for those that go for the long term interest and those that go for the short term interest? That's the first question. And also you mentioned borrowing options. Can you also shed more light on how easy or how our audience, our listeners can have access to a variety of options, or how do they go about borrowing options? You said okay, before you just borrow money from any source, do your research, talk to people that can provide insightful analysis to you on what these loans entail and what's not, and what to meet when you're making this repayment. So on those two questions, can I just balance it out for us?
Okay, thanks very much, Mr. Shea. Let me start with the first question, which you said interest, which is the interest that people pay long term, short term. Number one, it depends on what we stand to achieve. We made mention of the objectives of the loan. It's possible probably you have a good cash flow, you felt you just want to maybe buy a fixed asset into your business, and you feel you have the cash flow. You don't want it to linger up to 6 months. Or probably you feel you have a cash flow but not too healthy. You want a 1 year plan. Or probably, like I said, also the types of business you are doing. So probably in this business you can make 40% profits or 50% profit. Because the longer the time, the payment time duration, also the higher the interest. So for the one for first bank and aware about is like within 10-15% that they do every day, also depending on your revenue on a monthly basis. For the a year and 2 years, they will also tell you. But first is when you are asking questions, that's a consult the experts, your colleagues, your friend. Is when you are asking questions, you know that for a year repayment plan, the interest rates is different from 2 years repayment plan. So it now depends on the flexibility you are looking at for your cash flow. How your cash flow is what it can. If I feel my business can take two years irrespective of the interest, fine. But we feel the interest rate is too much, that you rather want to squeeze yourself in a way to quickly pay on time to reduce the interest, all well and good. So it's all about your person, your goal or your objective of the loan, and also the flexibility that you're also looking at. But it also comes basically to also mindset. Can see some school of thought believe, anything loan, run away from it, you'll not be able to pay. to pay back. But no, for you to grow your business, you need funding. Whether borrowed from federal, you need funding. And if you have also been running your business has been doing well, so why don't you just go for loan to upscale your business? Why don't you go for borrowed funds to grow your business? Like some we have maybe those that have share, we hear, please, the house we are staying, don't use it in case if anything happens. Why some will believe what will happen? Your house, the COO, it's a collateral or so is a form of funding. Because if you use your COO, for example, you are going to pay a minimum interest comparing to when there are no collateral, just like maybe probably your business name and your financial record is what you are using. For example, during the COVID, for example, imagine people that borrowed funds to build hotels, people that borrowed funds to build an event center. For those periods, they will then be struggling to pay or not even paying at all because of social distances, no functions, no programs. So imagine what they would have been going through all this period. So it depends on the goal, your objective, and also how well you think you can accommodate the interest. Like the daily one for First Bank, some people might say, oh, it's wonderful. You don't even know whether they're even deducting or not. Some might say, no, let's go and so that is how I can say. It depends on individual and how you see the interest rates. Is it convenient? Is it good? Is it not? Then the second question, interest.
Borrowing options.
Yeah, talking about borrowing option. Still saying the borrowing options is if you have access to family and friends, like some maybe some politicians that have cash willing to, the interest rates will be different. When you default, there are no this huge penalty or charges. We also have for these days now, you don't have to even be the one going to. Before we be the one that is going to look for them. Now they will always come. In a singular bank, 2 or 3 different marketers can come. So they are the one coming. But as they are coming, number one, they are going to hide some information. There will be some hidden charges. There will be some fees that they are not going to tell you. There will be some terms and conditions. Like I was aware of, it is a type of loan that when you apply for the loan, probably you are going to pay 30%. 30% before the money will be released. So when you are not aware that 30% is not that you are going to go and look for it, it's that the money must be available in your bank account before the bank releases the funds. So if you that you are still looking for 1M, you can't get 1M ready as in an anti. They are now telling you that for them to pay you this 7, since they are looking for 10M, they are going to fund you 7 million. Now for 7 million to be paid, 3 million must be made handy in your account. So you now start. But at times you will not be really compared to rather. Why don't you even go for another option that probably it is 5M or 6M, you just go under 1 year. You don't have to maybe nobody will be asking for your own contribution. That's why I say you need to weigh all those things. Ask questions as much as you can. Warn your colleagues. Some people would have gone ahead of it, have done it before. Ask them. But basically, this mindset of if I go for loan, something might happen. Maybe that's when my business it is no. Life is all about risk. When your business is struggling, is a risk. Not taking decisions to take the business forward is a risk. But loan is what are you using the loan for? Is it to solve a particular problem in the business that will grow your customer base, that will grow your business? Or is it you want to buy a fixed capital, a fixed asset that you know your business has not really grown to that to be able to accommodate? And as long as you know your cash flow will not be able to do it. That is, separate your business from your person. So when we separate our business from our person, it makes the operation of the business to be smooth. It makes borrowing loan from for a borrowing loan from lenders to also be easy. So for you to utilize the loan and also pay. You don't just get a loan, for example, that you now turn to your personal phone. Maybe that's when you now feel you want to buy a car. But instead of now calling your personal car, you are now calling an official car. So we need to put caution to all that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So in summary, every point you've made, starting from the interest to the advice on borrowing and to hidden charges and everything, at RxAll, we comply with all of this. So our interest rates are very, very affordable, even with minimal documentation. The pharmacist spoke just now and explained to us that when you're not dropping a collateral, you're not dropping your CFO to secure a loan, and you still get access to this financing at cheap price. It's a win-win for you, because even banks take so much, apart from the interest, the hidden interest or the management fee or what you're going to put down to get these loans. The loan itself is of high interest, because the money they are getting, the bank business is bank business, But at RxAll, we are offering you limited documentation, limited security, easy to access security actually. There are things you can easily get without stressing yourself. Without going to Bureau of Land to check if the document is ready, without spending money actually. I was speaking with someone yesterday or day before yesterday. What pushed him off of the bank to get access to funding is because, of course, he has a CFO and he presented to them at the bank. But at the bank, they said they are going to verify his CFO. And to verify it, it's going to spend almost 1 million naira just to verify his CFO. And what's the assurance that after you verify the CFO, the bank will still grant you the loan? And how much loan are you even collecting from the bank in the first place? Before the bank will, for you to now spend 1 million naira on verifying the CFO of your own property actually. Then you put in consideration the 25 to 30% they're going to be charged, the processing fee, and all that. So seeking information, seeking advice from colleagues in the industry, even from us actually, because we are going to also drop our contacts. You can reach us on WhatsApp, via text messages, or even calls, or go to our website to get more information about us. So we offer advice. We can give you advice on what to take and how to take it. We can analyze your business for you to determine how much you can access at any given time, so that such funds will not hinder the growth of your business while you're paying the financing. So if you check our chat now, we'll be putting our contact details, both our WhatsApp number, companies, our websites, then email addresses, so that you can reach us for all this information, because actually we are out of time now, and whatever questions you have, you can also direct it to our email, then we'll leave our email address too for you. So in rounding, so I would just like to say that access to debt funding is good business. Getting the right information from the right people and accessing the funding from the right institution will grow your business for you. So why wait 10 years to reach a milestone that you can achieve within 6 months with good funding? And why lose your customer base to a competitor while you can, take the funding with good direction and with good management of funds and grow your business? So these are questions that we should answer ourselves, and these are questions that we readily provide answers to for you. So in rounding, I would like for us to give us a try at RxAll. Our website is www.rxall.net. Portal is www.rxalldeliver.com. And also you can reach us on these numbers via call or WhatsApp. The number is on the screen already, 090-105-15767. So, and also I want to appreciate our sister Olanrewaju for the time, for the knowledge shared today, and for the wealth of experience. Mind you, he's the CEO of Medville Pharmacy, and Medville Pharmacy has been in existence for 7 years. So if you need first-hand information also about financing, you can actually speak with Pharm Olanrewaju, because he's been in business for a while, and he has seen the ups and downs and the bitter and the sweet part of the business. So he can give ready information. He's also a good customer to RxAll. He's a good partner. He gives us good advice also, and we are enjoying the relationship. So at this point, I would like to say thank you to everybody that's listening to us wherever you are today. Although we don't have time for questions again, we'd just like to say thank you to you. So reach us through the channels we provided for you, and then we'll take it off from there. So thank you and have a blessed weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Hello.